Again, Alek Manoah, he's looking out at the Orioles. He is starting to get himself fired up right now. And strike three called as Manoah rings him up. And a slider to get him. A 3-up, 3-down, bottom of the second for Alek Manoah. And he got him. Swing and a miss to get him. 5th strikeout of the night.
It was a massive night for Alek Manoah and the Blue Jays. The big man was dominant again.
Put him to sleep early and still get on the plane.
And easily one of the most important performances of Alek Manoah's young career.
So that was the day after Brian Baker decided to play Mr. Tough Guy. The Blue Jays had lost the previous night, and Manoah went out there through 8 innings of 1-run ball against the Baltimore Orioles. He has been, as you can see, ridiculously good the last 4. What should people expect from him tonight, John Schneider?
He's feeling fine. Expect kind of the normal outing for him. Feeling a lot better, so just ride him out there like we always do.
Pretty simply stated, I would suggest, as Manoah goes up against Yonny Chirinos, who will get the start for Tampa Bay soon after coming off Tommy John surgery, I might add. So here's Shai Davidi joining Joe and I to speak to, Shai, the significance of Manoah actually starting this game.
Well, obviously they're significant because of facing the Rays in a game of such importance, but this is also about maintaining the way the Blue Jays have lined up their rotation for the next few weeks. It's not a coincidence that Manoah is starting this game, because if he starts today, he can start against the Orioles, then he can start against the Rays again in Tampa, then he can start against the Yankees, and then if needed, he can start against the Orioles in that final series of the regular season, or they can save him for a potential start in the postseason. So the Blue Jays will have some options that way. But the Blue Jays very clearly wanted to ensure that Alek Manoah is pitching against every one of their top rivals as they go through these games of high consequence. And if he had missed, even if he'd been pushed back just a single day from this, it would have disrupted that whole schedule.
Well, I think too with what you get from those guys in the first game too, that's what really helps too. You keep Manoah on turn, and I think that's critical. But then not only is it critical to do that, but then you keep these other guys. Mitch White really stepped up today, because I'll take Alek Manoah at 60 or 70%, whatever he is. I just saw him throwing a football down there. He looks fine. So, and he looks really good with the baseball in his hand. But anything he can give you now is sure better than a pen day. So that's the other thing that he kind of rescued the pitching staff. Mitch White did, going back to him again.
So what happens next to Mitch White?
Well, Mitch White is on option. He's called up as a 29th man for the doubleheader today. So that means he has to go back down after this game. And he's still in that 15-day option period. That's not going to clear up for him until September 22nd. And the Blue Jays, they're going to have a gap Friday. They were going to have a gap in their rotation regardless of what happened today. But beyond Friday, which could end up being another bullpen game, the Blue Jays won't need a 5th starter again until September 24th in Tampa against the Rays. Certainly Mitch White showed that had a good enough showing against the Rays today. You feel good about him coming back and starting that game. So the Blue Jays have really found a way, barring any surprises, rain delays, anything like that, to just maintain and really concentrate these games within the starting pitchers that they trust the most right now.
So, Joe, let's take a look at the Blue Jays lineup for Game 2. You'll notice that there are 3 lefties at the bottom of the order. Every lefty the Blue Jays have except Bradley Zimmer in there. Could this hamper John Schneider later in a game that is being handled as a bullpen day for the Tampa Bay Rays?
We see doubleheader games treated like this a lot. Game 2, you get guys that didn't start in Game 1. This isn't particularly ideal because you get guys like Biggio and Tapi and Jackie Bradley Jr. did not start Game 1, so they're starting Game 2 against Yonny Chirinos, who throughout the course of his career, that split finger is a pretty big pitch for him, so he's actually tougher on left-handed batters. Now, they're obviously down at the bottom of that batting order, so if John Schneider wants to go to his bench, sure he can, but it also makes it somewhat easier for Kevin Cash to counter that. He's got plenty of lefties down in his bullpen waiting in the wings, so sometimes it's the doubleheader, whether it's workload management or the idea of getting guys into games that maybe you're not fielding your best lineup. Maybe Espinal in there, maybe Merrifield later. I'm sure we're going to see them. We're sure we're going to see them, but it's just to have those 3 lefties in there against a guy that isn't going to be there for a long time, might just be 3 or 4 innings for Chirinos. but we'll see how that impacts them at the bottom of the order with his splitter.
Well, that really makes it important for the Blue Jays to time when they go to make their moves, because they do have that pocket there where it really makes sense for the Rays to bring in a lefty. It's 3 lefties within 4 batters, and once the Rays make their move, they bring in a lefty, the Jays counter with their righties, then they could end up at a platoon disadvantage for the rest of the game. So it's really got to be the right opportunity when the Jays pinch hit. And the other thing is that one of the right-handed batters that you have in this game is Danny Jansen, and how much you want to use him after he's just caught 18 innings day after night. You know, that this is this kind of spot where Gabriel Moreno makes sense, that if you did want to make a move for Alejandro Kirk, you wanted to pinch run, you have someone else there. But generally, it's been kind of tough for the Blue Jays to find spots to fit Gabriel Moreno in. And you wonder, is that going to last while Lourdes Gurriel is out on the injured list? Do they find a way to make a move to find someone else that maybe gives them an at-bat at some point in time?
Could play right into Cash's hands, though. You put your righties in there, now you're facing Fairbanks and the like down there,
Right.
throwing 99. Not an ideal matchup late.
Right. Nice to see you, by the way.
Pleasure to be back.
Shai Davidi joins us in advance of the second game of this doubleheader. It's not $1 hot dogs outside the stadium, right? Only inside the stadium. So those ones probably cost a tidy fortune. As we get set for the second of the doubleheader on a beautiful night here in Toronto, the roof is open. Thank goodness.